Hi everyone. In my last two videos, I covered ISO and aperture. And today we're gonna dive into shutter speed. Shutter speed is one of the three fundamental pillars of exposure triangle. Shutter speed determines how long the shutter remains open and lets the light in to expose the sensor or the film. It actually controls the amount of the light that is going to the sensor. In addition to controlling the light, the amount of light that is going through, it also controls the motion in your scene. Shutter speed is measured in seconds. Sometimes it's a fraction of a second, like 1,000th of a second or 1/4 of a second. And sometimes it is something like 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. When you choose a shutter speed, something like 1,000th of a second, less light is going to expose the sensor. And when you choose the longer shutter speeds, like 1/4 of a second or 1/8 of a second or 2 seconds or 5 seconds, more light is going to expose the sensor. Shutter speed is important in photography and video, but it works a little different in each of them. In photography, it controls the amount of light, the exposure. Shutter speed like 1,000th of a second lets less light in, freezes the motion, therefore it's gonna give you a sharper image. Slow shutter speeds like 1 second lets more light to get to the sensor, and it creates motion, and it's good for low light scenes. As I mentioned before, shutter speed also controls motion. Lower shutter speeds like 1/15 of a second or 1/8 of a second creates motion, and it's suitable for shooting something like a waterfall or light trails. On the other hand, fast shutter speeds like 1/2000th of a second or 1/4000th of a second are used to freeze motion, and it's more suitable for wildlife photography and sports. But when we get to video, the exposure control is the same as photography. But in video, shutter speed follows the 180-degree shutter rule, meaning that whatever your FPS, frame per second, is, your shutter speed has to be twice the FPS. For example, if you're shooting something like 24 frames per second, your shutter speed has to be 50. And if you're shooting 60, your shutter speed is 125. If you're shooting something like 120 frames per second, then your shutter speed got to be 250. Faster shutter speeds reduce blur and create a jittery and crisp image, mostly used in action and war scenes. And when shooting video, using slow shutter speeds like 1/50th of a second or 1/60th of a second add to the blur, sometimes used for dreamy-like and cinematic scenes. Shutter speed is crucial for controlling the exposure and the motion in photography and video. Mastering it allows you to be creative when it comes to motion blur, and also it helps you to control the light in a very challenging lighting condition. Understanding its interaction with ISO and also aperture is crucial to get a correctly exposed image. If you want to learn more about its interaction with ISO and aperture, watch this video of mine. If you are shooting video, understanding its interaction with frame rate is crucial to create a professional quality footage. There are three types of shutter speed. One of them is mechanical, and the second one is electronic shutter. Most of the high-tech and advanced mirrorless cameras have both of them. They have mechanical and electronic as well. And the third one is global. In one of my future videos, I'm gonna cover these three types of shutters, and we're gonna dive into how do they work and how they differ from each other. So without any further ado, I'm gonna take you out for a shoot. I'm gonna take some photos and show you how to control the exposure using the shutter speed and show you how it interacts with the other two factors, other two pillars of the exposure triangle, ISO and aperture. I'm gonna take a couple of shots using different exposure by changing the shutter speed, and then I'm gonna show you how to use shutter speed to control motion. Now I'm gonna take a shot of the lake and the street. My shutter speed is 1/50th of a second, f/16 ISO 160. If I want to take this shot using a wider aperture like f8, then I have to compensate for the light. So I'm changing the shutter speed to 320. So I'm gonna take another shot, and this is how you compensate for light by using shutter speed. This shot is going to be at 1/15th of a second, and it's going to produce a motion blur. And the next shot is going to be at 1/2000th of a second and f5. I'm taking a shot at 1/15th of a second, f18 ISO 100. This is gonna give a motion blur to the water. And my next shot is 1/1000th of a second, f4 ISO 200. This combo is very common in digital video, especially for YouTube, live broadcast, and casual filmmaking. This combo creates motion blur that looks natural to the human eye, smooth and cinematic without looking too sharp or jittery. This setup is commonly used for smooth motions and light slow motion effects. 60 frames per second captures twice as many frames as 30 frames per second, resulting in smoother motion, ideal for sports, action, dance, and fast-paced scenes. This setting is perfect for capturing high-speed motion with great clarity, commonly used for dramatic slow motion. 120 frames per second allows you to slow footage down to 1/4 speed at 30 frames per second or 1/5 at 24 per second, producing smooth cinematic slow motion effects ideal for action, dance, sports, water, or emotional moments. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you liked it and you found it useful, just go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm posting a new video every Monday or Tuesday, and by subscribing to the channel, you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. If you have any questions regarding photography or videography, just go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you, and it's going to be my pleasure indeed. As always, take good care of yourself, keep shooting, and I see you soon. Cheers.